know how to build my skills and everything.
Right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Okay, the boys, let's hear you.
From what she said, actually, similar. I'm actually a business. I'm into business. I'm an entrepreneur already, so I just want to get more knowledge about how to build my own business and grow from there.
Right. How to build your business and grow from there. How to package your skill. Okay, that's what we're doing. Yes, you're just joining us. What are your expectations today?
I'm here for growth.
Yeah, for growth. All right. One more, and then we proceed. Yes, bro.
I have to build my skills. You have to build my skills.
Here to build your skills. Right. Various reasons brought various persons out. Whatever your expectations are, I'm pretty sure we'll have it met. Our lineup covers in-depthly how to improve your skills, how to navigate, how to collaborate. Our emphasis is on collaboration. Before we officially start, the African problem has always been 100% ownership. Somebody say that back to me. The African problem has always been what? So while you're waiting to accumulate capital over 30 years, your business would have been 30 years old if you had started with 5 or 6 of your friends. Because Jesus Christ called 12. That is the first collaboration. No, not the first. Let us make man in our own image and likeness. That is the first collaboration. Okay, that's some super beings talking. And God saw that it is wrong for man to be alone. That is the first collaboration. Are you getting where this is going? Noah built the ark by himself, Abby. Only and built the ark. Rain for carry all of them go. If he had not seek for help. And what was the instruction? Bring them in twos, in pairs. That is collaboration. It has been in our faces since time immemorial. We have just not been paying attention to these details. So I'll give you a base for collaboration. We collaborate in business on 3 different cardinal points, 3 very key cardinals. You collaborate first on operations, on ideas. Some persons have all the skill sets, all the money, but they don't know what to do with it. Am I saying something? They'll look at it, they'll be like, oh boy, I want to invest 500,000 now. Some people are like that. Meanwhile, somebody somewhere only needs 150 and their life has started. Am I saying something? So you collaborate on operations. Operations are ideas. The next will be management. I've been hearing, I want to build my skills. That's probably managerial. When you have these ideas, how do you nurture it? How do you get it to grow from level 1 to level 1,000? And then the one you've been expecting me to say first is actually the last of it, money. Everybody's in a hurry to get money. You give them money, they buy one iPhone, they buy one shoe. Then they explain to you that something happened. If you have no idea, if you have no discipline to manage, all the money in the world will only put you in more problems. Are we together? We have more for you guys. But before we start, I would like to invite our convener to officially open this. So if your hands are not busy, if your legs still work, I would like you to help me welcome our own engineer, Wanodi Wosu. He will not come out if you're still seated. You don't know what's going on here. Put those hands together, add energy to it. Do you know what it means? Without honesty for you, we all light. And nobody has been asked to pay a thing. All right.
Please, can we sit, please? Welcome address by Engineer Wanode Bunewoso, convener, Garden City Career Summit. Firstly, I would like to thank this of what I want to read. Some persons that came a bit very early. Thanks so much for seeing it as a priority and being here on time as well. delivering of the opening ceremony of the fourth edition of the Garden City Career Summit at New Camp David Event Center, GRA, Port Harcourt, River State. Protocol. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Engineer George Papamia Iwo, CEO, Peggy's Global Services Limited. Our guest of honor, Ambassador Dr. Iwu I. Odo, Chairman, Meridian Hospital Limited and Pyramid Integrated Diagnostic Services Limited. Managing Director of companies and organizations. Our distinguished panelists for morning and afternoon section, the academician, esteemed media representative, young professionals, youth, students, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. So I'll start with an idea of what Gaccs and professional development stands for. I am delighted and very pleased to give this welcome address on our fourth edition of Garden City Career Summit 2025 and the prospect this avenue gives to young professional, youth, and students, which are mainly our target audience. Across different disciplines on the journey of their professional career development and entrepreneurship advancement. The growth to empower themselves by being trainable and teachable with the right mindset and strategy to excel in their future career endeavors as our esteemed and seasoned professional and resource persons and panelists are available to share their ideas, expertise, tell their excellent success stories and challenges that will inspire and reshape the thought of participants. These 8 panelists were carefully selected geared on their entrepreneurship trajectory. I once again thank our amazing team and volunteer for setting the pace in changing the narrative, a platform engineered to engage, interact, and share innovative approach in career quest and self-development. Our journey has been something that has been inspiring from 2022, building a platform where young people, youths, and students can engage with seasoned professionals and share from their expertise in becoming a better version of themselves. It's all about value-oriented, and it's something that keeps growing every year. So I'll talk about our Garden City Career Summit and the theme for this year. The theme for our 4th edition, Rise and Build, Empowering the Youth for Entrepreneurship Growth and Collaboration, which reflects the visible gap for startups and small, medium enterprises. These gaps, challenges need to be identified, discussed, and engaged in solving it. It's imperative for seasoned entrepreneurs who have passed through these stages in their business growth to share their expertise, experience with younger entrepreneurs to enable them learn, unlearn, and relearn these strategies. Also, this summit will equip young professionals, youth, and students, both employed and non-employed, with the essential knowledge, tools, and strategy needed to understand the dynamics of collaboration within the entrepreneurship sector, as after the keynote speech, other sections will dissect different sub-themes. Now I move to the programs for Garden City Career Summit for this 4th edition. Starting from our short courses run for 2 days online with different trained professionals talking about different set of skills. So it's something that has been running for the past 2 years as well. And we've had up to 50 to 60 persons participating and benefiting from it as well. And so the opening ceremony in the morning on 9th October, speech by our keynote speaker, guest of honor. We will get insight from our distinguished panelists on the team and sub-team, both in the morning and afternoon section, anchored on their journey, expertise, challenges, and success stories associated with the event team for both the panel section 1 and 2 respectively. Then we'll now move into group dynamics, where we have a participant engaged with panelists and resource persons in group formats. Interaction with human resources personnel on job tips and placement. Exhibition tour and business grant pitching, which will probably come at the last and the grand finale of today's event. The section further infused collaboration, branding, projection, and the need to deepen understanding on profile and building influence. Sponsors remark, award presentation, and business grant winners announced. The core value of Gaccs is bridging skills efficiency, both technical and vocational, career, self-improvement, and empowering lives. Appreciation goes to our sponsors, partners, and volunteers. On behalf of the team, we are grateful. And that's why in this year edition, we are going to infuse sponsors' remark. Immediately after the speech from the guest of honor, our sponsors will be given the opportunity, since they've believed in our core values and objectives, to appreciate them as well. So I want all of us to seek ties, and I want to talk to more of our target audience here. Like when I was having a conversation with the LI of the corporate community, although probably most of them are doing their capturing today. That's why most of them are not here. But we believe that subsequent year, because this platform is mainly a right step for them to retool and equip. So learn something new. You can't be the same once you learn a new thing daily. For the student as well, it's important that you network. We have our seasoned experts here, captain of industries, that will share their wealth of experience for you to be able to work, strategize, and begin whatever success story you want to say. You must tell your story, and telling your story starts with having the right environment and platform. That is why Garden City Career Summit is existing. And we must all know that Garden City Career Summit is an initiative of career advancement. Thank you so much, and let's have a great conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. If this guy balanced it our hand, we're not going to pay and complete. Don't know what he's trying to do to my ears. Please, another big hand for our convener. Oh, okay. Okay. So without wasting much of our time, 1 second, please. Let me. I don't want to do that from a small screen, so I don't mistake anything. 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mommies and daddies, entrepreneurs and soon-to-be entrepreneurs, Christians and non-Christians, Nigerians and non-Nigerians, I'd like us to move on with this event. The next will be our keynote speech, and our keynote speaker is here with us. Our keynote speaker is none other than engineer Dr. George Papamie Sunday War, who is a distinguished oil and gas executive, engineer, philanthropist, and transformational leader with over 2 decades of impactful contributions to the petroleum industry, academia, and public service. He currently serves as the chairman and chief executive officer of Peggy's Global Services Limited, one of Africa's fastest growing oil and gas servicing companies. He is also the chief financial officer and majority shareholder of GITA, Allied Technology Limited. That is in Houston, in the United States of America. He holds significant equity in METO and GIPS, Global Services Limited, also in the United States. He was born in Okrika, River State, Nigeria, to a God-fearing family. Dr. Iwo is also an alumnus of River State University, where he obtained his BTech in mechanical engineering and master's in engineering management. He later earned an honorary doctorate in public administration from the London Bridge Business School in collaboration with the University of Nicosia, Cyprus. His career began at Nigerian Ajib Oil Company in 2001, where he rose from pupil engineer to coordinator of swamp area operations, overseeing health, safety, environment, of integrated management system across multiple facilities. He served NAOC meticulously for 20 years before transitioning into private enterprise. Dr. Iwo is widely recognized for pioneering innovation in production optimization and artificial lift technology within the Nigerian oil and gas industry. His notable achievements include pioneering ESP designs for land and swap area installations, significantly enhancing production, developing a well integrity survey software system that improves safety and reporting accuracy, designing the first locally produced surface sand trap equipment using Krebs law that was widely deployed in the then NAOC locations, spearheading flow assurance initiatives, reactivation of low BHP wells, and redesign of three-phase separators to optimize performance, supervising production facilities that delivered output over 18,000 BOPD and achieving production increases of up to 900% in some ESP installations. Brothers and sisters, if you're not jealous, if you're not intimidated, I would like you to help me welcome the CEO and MD of Peggy's Global Services Limited, Dr. Engineer George P.S. Iwo.
Thank you, the MC. Thank you, everybody. You can sit down, please. It's a great pleasure, actually, to be part of you today. I know I am one of the pioneers of this event from the onset when it started. One of them had contacted me, and I've always been part and parcel of it in my way. But this year, I have decided to take a big chunk by ensuring that I don't just participate from the side, but I participate big and be a keynote speaker. I find it as an honor to be the keynote speaker of this event, and I'm not taking it for granted. First and foremost, I want to appreciate Mr. Engineer Wanode for this giant stride. It's not easy to take up a bold step in the oil and gas industry to be able to bring up the youth, the young professionals to par in the way they needed to be. And he has continuously done it for 4 years counting. It's not easy because I remember once when I was the chairman of SPE Port Harcourt section, and I did one program like this in Hotel Presidential. I know what it cost me. And for him to be doing something similar and continuously doing it, he needs a bigger hand of applause. Please give him a round of applause. I just want to indulge all of you that are here that don't take this for granted, especially when it's known that you are coming for free. Don't take it for granted. You always need to make sure that people that have the heart of bringing young ones to par should always be encouraged. Pray for them and ensure that you support them the much you can. By so doing, your own activities will not suffer also, but they will grow from strength to strength. Amen. All right, so I just looked at the program and I saw that I was given 15 minutes. I don't know how I'm going to manage 15 minutes to do a keynote speech. You know, it's unbelievable. So I'm going to be in a little bit in a hurry. Luckily enough, I have decided to write this down in a Word format, and I've developed it in a PowerPoint slide. So for those that cannot catch me, try and get a grip of the PowerPoint slide so that you'll be able to have some learning from it. But more importantly, it's not about reading. It's about the experience. It's about the idea behind it and the intention for you to be able to rise and build. And that's the intention. So the theme of our topic today is Rise and Build. And you already know me, no need to introduce myself. Good morning, distinguished students, guests, panelists, and all other dignitaries here. I want to say you're welcome. These vibrant young people gathered here today are all exceptionally beautiful, and I'm happy to be with you. I want to begin by thanking the organizer, which I've already done, you know, and I am especially honored to be part of this gathering from where energy, creativity, and enterprise always meet. When I look into this room for the very first time, I came in at about a few minutes past 10, and I came in and looked into the room, and when they were taking pictures, I was not just seeing people that are coming to here to listen. You know, I was seeing people that are more like intentionally wanting to build, builders, people that want to actually make ends meet by ensuring that they build just like one of the is building. So I am not looking at you as someone that just listening to me. Whether you're a student, you're a graduate, you're working somewhere, wherever you are, don't consider yourself as just one that wants to come and listen. You are a builder, and when they say that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow, I am also saying that the youths are the builders of today. So you have to consider yourself a builder, and that's why this theme for this year is very apt. And I give thanks to the organizers seriously. But let me confess something. My own journey did not start in a polished environment, halls like this, like all of you are, listening and getting knowledge and making sure that you make ends meet. Over 2 decades ago, close to 3 decades now, when I finished from my university and I had to go into the industry, it wasn't easy. I was a young engineer trying to find my footings in Nigeria's complex oil and gas industry. I remember sending countless CVs, curriculum vitae to several places. I served in Lagos. And for those of you that serve in Lagos, you will know that every Wednesday there are some advert that comes up around that period. So I'm always at the vendor stand looking for some newspaper on where I can see applications to apply. And I applied severally. What I can count at that time is that before I relocated to Port Harcourt, I had applied over 156 applications to different companies. And some of them were fake. Some of them I had to walk down there and they say, oh, sorry, it never existed. And I had to walk back, paying my transport. And because of the cost of things, in some of these places, I have to trek down there. So you are lucky to be having this kind of information ahead of time. I didn't have this. So when it happened that we have to make sure we have a job to live, my first field assignment became a lesson to me. After all those curriculum vitae, and then I said, oh man, Lagos is not for me. I have to come back to Port Harcourt. Because while I was in school, I was regarded as a kingmaker. In every election they want to do, they will call me, come and support me. If I do contest, I will lose. But when I support you, you will win. So they make me a king. They call me a kingmaker. So anybody that wants to contest always come to me, and that makes me a little bit popular when I was in school. And so I got noticed with almost all the servicing companies in Port Harcourt as at then. That was far back as 1997, 1996. Almost all the servicing companies that we would know me because I'm always on their vortex looking for one fund or the other. So I was that popular. And I asked myself, what am I doing in Lagos that I'm applying this much and there's nothing coming? So I came back to Port Harcourt to start looking for another one where the opportunities actually struck. The very first job I got was with Schlumberger. Now, as I was considering to go to Schlumberger to start to work, I got another job with NAPIP. That time there's a call, that's a program called NAPIP, National Poverty Alleviation Program, something like that. So I got a job there. I said, wow, 2 jobs at a time after staying in the house for close to a year. Because, I'm not a dull person and I hate to stay in the house. So every day that passes by, it pinches me. But some people have stayed for 3 years and they are not worried, but I am more worried. Come to think of it, as I was thinking of Schlumberger, NAPEP, bam, another one came, Nigerian Egypt Oil Company. Wow. So which one do I choose? I had 3 jobs at a time. And what I could do is that Schlumberger is a service company. They can decide to kick me out anytime if I don't do well. NAPEP is a government company. Who knows? Tomorrow another government can come and say, hey, we don't want this program again. Nigerian Egypt Oil Company is an international company. I'm going to be a staff. Even though the pay was lower than Schlumberger and was lower than NAPEP, my spirit said, go to NAHOK. And that's how I got myself in NAHOK. And I served there meritoriously for 20 years before I decided to resign. Now, while I was there serving, I did not serve because I want to stay there till the retirement. That wasn't my intention. I wanted to serve and live within 15 years, which is the early time of retirement. But my wife refused. She's afraid, what if I come out, I won't get a job again. So I stayed a little longer until COVID came. And I said, no, with COVID, I can't stay again. I got to go. Luckily, before that time, I set up some other companies and I left. If I begin to tell you my story about how I transcend from one point to the other, you will get a lot of learnings. But because of today, I will pause here for now. What am I trying to say? You are lucky to be in a polished environment, to be having this kind of details. Some of us, it wasn't that juicy. So give yourself a round of applause. All right, let's set the stage all right. Why the word rise and build, rise and build? You know, the truth is simple. The urgency is now. Africa has the youngest population in the world. In Nigeria alone, about 70% of the people are under the age of 30. Yet, youth unemployment hovers around 33%, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. If you combine that with unemployment, nearly half of the young people are not fully engaged. That's not just a statistics, it is a ticking time bomb or a reservoir of untapped potential, depending on what we are looking at. So most of us here, some of us are working, some of us are looking for a job. Those that are working, I can tell you for true that maybe half or more than half of them do not have just satisfaction. They just want to find themselves somewhere to be doing to leave the house, but they are not happy. That is for me, it's unemployment. You're only trying to do something to make a living. It's not employment. So we're talking about employment that gives you satisfaction. I was lucky I had 3, and I got to Egypt, and I was lucky that I had good employment. It's not like that for everybody. While I was there, people say I'm a big boy. Hey, IOC, big boy, this, that. You know, I had unnecessary respect. Unnecessary respect. Because some places I go to that ordinarily would have just ushered me, they usher me with some kind of accolades because of what? Egypt. And that was the way it was for people that work in Shell, in Total, and all. Some persons are not that privileged to work like that. And maybe you are one of them. The fact is, all these people that do not have job satisfaction are not having job to do, it's actually a ticking bomb, because every day you stay at home, you think of, oh, I'm not jobless. You have this embarrassment from your parents, from your colleagues, and all that. And you have that embarrassment. You might be tempted to begin to think negative. And when you begin to think negative, you begin to have some kind of things that you do that negatively affect you, your family, and your community. And in some cases, some persons go ahead to have suicide attack. That's not the intention. So that's why this topic is up. Rise and build. So in midst of what is happening, in midst of the unemployment, in midst of the things that are happening that are not good for you, you need to start thinking of how to rise and build. And as we continue, we'll begin to know the essence of that collaboration. Globally, the nature of work is shifting. Artificial intelligence is expected to affect about 300 million jobs worldwide, according to the Goldman Sachs statistics. Sustainability is no longer an optional slogan. It's shaping investment decisions. Digital skills are now as critical as literacy. What am I saying? You know, with the unemployment we have in Nigeria, with the unemployment around the world, if you begin to think and wait and it's not coming, you get yourself into some kind of depression, and before you know, you begin to do some nasty things. The world is telling you that it is time for you to start knowing that what will rule the world, even from now, is what they call artificial intelligence. It's what they call Internet of Things. It's what they call machine learning. It's what they call the things that are critically needed in the computer stage. We are now in a computer stage. And in the computer age, everybody, you need to consider this literacy, the fact that you went to school, you have learned business development, you have learned engineering, you have learned mathematics, all put together. You need to have computer appreciation, artificial intelligence, and the things that has to do with digital skills as something you must hold fast. So anybody that comes to me these days and say, I want to read a course, I don't know what to read, the first thing I directly say, go and get digital skill. Because with that alone, you are likely to stay in your house and be making millions. I have seen it. I have seen and I have approached people, and it's working. So the unemployment status, even as we're going to be losing about 300 million jobs, there is still much more than 300 million jobs that will be created. So don't be scared. The fact that AI is coming, it's the way you keep yourself and the way you want to come abreast with it that will make you shine. If you relax because you're not involved in AI, it will gradually drain you away. But if you go getting digital skills and ensuring that you flow in the newness of things, you will not be cut short. You will be happy. So don't consider your education as just the only. Please, please start thinking of digital skills. And here is the paradox. Nigeria is richly endowed. We have oil, we have gas, we have agriculture, and a booming creative industry, and a digital adoption rate that makes us one of Africa's tech leaders. Do you know that Nigeria is more than blessed? More than blessed. You know, For some of you that follow me on LinkedIn, you will see that for the past 2-3 weeks, I have been touring the East Africa. And I've gone to all the East Africa, I'm only one remaining. And I'm sorry to say that all the ones I went to, they are neater, much more obedient, more disciplined, and more humble to the things of the economy than us, Nigeria, where we call ourselves the giant. And yet we say we are giants. A few days ago, I was in Lagos, and there was 3 days ago, and there was a heavy rainfall, and I was out with my driver. So by the time I came back, anywhere I see him was the gutters were messed up, death here, death there. And I was just, Jesus, right? Is this Lagos? And I'm talking about Victoria Island, I'm talking about Lekki. I say, is this Lagos? Why should it be this dirty? Is it because of our population? But I saw this kind of rainfall also in Uganda when I was there for one time. And as the rain finished, everything got drained. I didn't see deaths like that. They are interlocking and so tight together that you can't see grasses or gaps in between. And I started to think, is this an increase tile or is interlocking that was fixed? So what am I saying? We just bear the name Giant of Africa, but we are not doing enough. And I want to I'm really blaming the government anyway. But you as an individual, you do not allow such thing to make you to begin to dwindle because the government is not doing their own thing. What we are saying here is that Nigeria is blessed as tech people, and you can launch on that and make sure that you become one of the Africa's tech leaders. But resources alone will not transform a nation. It takes builders, young men and women who will rise above excuses, above anything that will make them go down. We will rise above to innovate, to create enterprises that last. So it means that irrespective of all the excuses, all the problems we have, you can actually have a way to make sure that you come out of it and become an innovator, become one that have digital skills to bring the enterprises that need. That's what we call rise and build. Rise and build. It is no longer time for you to say, I'm not employed. Because the kind of things I hear from Nigerian Info almost every day, opportunities are there every time. You must not get billions in a day. It's a matter of your mindset to be able to reactivate it and ensure that I can do this to start making. Today I heard someone talking about on reading Nigerian Info of a program where they say they can make someone have $500 a month. $500 is about 750,000 naira. Do you know what that means? There are several people that work for me that do not earn that much. So you can actually make a remit and refuse to be idle. Let's take some lessons. You know, I'm trying to rush because of time. Let's take some lessons from the oil and gas entrepreneurship. Now, that is my field because I am an oil and gas person. I always align with that sector. Allow me to share 3 lessons from my own 2 decades of oil and gas industry, which I believe every entrepreneur should also have. Number 1 that I want to tell you is the habit of being resilient. Resilience is a thing that you must imbibe in you. The oil and gas industry is cynical. One year, prices soar. The next year, it crashes. In 2014, for those of you that know, you will realize that crude oil prices dropped as low as from $110 per barrel to as low as $40. That period, it was economical downturn for everybody globally. Companies that survived were those that built resilience into their operations. As entrepreneurs, you must expect seasons of plenty and seasons of drought. The test is not whether you fall, but whether you will rise again. How many of you had fallen and risen almost at the same time? How many of you? Can you challenge yourself that, yes, I fell, I have fallen 3 times and I rose 3 times? You know, I was listening to one pastor, which I like a lot, Apostle Salman, and I learned one thing I never forgot. He said, failure is an asset. Think about it. He said, failure is an asset. And that day, I said, well, how can failure be an asset? But I realized that failure is an asset the way you look at it. Unless you don't want to rise, unless you think that you have failed, so you want to stay there, you will die there. And Nigeria, and it's not like United States, when they say, I want to die, they will not call police, come out, stop him from dying, stop from dying. In Nigeria, if you say want to die, they will support you to die. And you don't want to die because there are a lot of things ahead of you that you have to do that will make you to show for. So you have to realize that failure is an asset. When you fail, you stand up. When you make a mistake, you stand up. And as we go on, you will see what someone said. But when once you fail and you learn from it, and you use it to be able to tame your life, that is when it becomes an asset. But when you fail and you allow it to go because you had failed and you are gone, you are not helping yourself. So resilience is standing up, rising up, whatever you are. Even at this point in time, I don't have employment. Rise up, challenge yourself, and ensure that you go forward to what you want. You are a lot of resources in Nigeria, and there are, Nigeria is a blessed country. I keep saying it over and over. That's why no matter how much I have the privilege of becoming a citizen from other places, I told them, even though I have a citizen, I will still invest here. My investment here in Nigeria, because it's so blessed. The people are good. Nigeria is so hospitable. I forgot about the government. Everything is good. Everything is okay. Just the policy implementations from the government that is lacking. Number two, innovation and adaptation. When I started, the industry was driven by manual rigs and operations. Today, we are talking about digital twins, AI-powered drilling, and remote monitoring. Change is a constant. If you are rigid, you will be left behind. Entrepreneurs must keep learning, keep adapting, and keep innovating. What do I mean by this? There are things you're used to doing, but you can actually change them for the better. There's a saying that everybody that wants to grow should think outside the box. How much have you thought outside the box? What is it that you think that will make you to become someone? Anytime I think of this, I think of those two guys that formed WhatsApp. The WhatsApp that all of us are using, all of you are using. Two guys that drop out, that formed WhatsApp. Now it's the global name. They keep this one buy it over, another person buy it over. It keeps increasing. Mark Zuckerberg, you know him well. He is not a graduate, but today he's everywhere. Innovation, thinking outside the box. He said, I told somebody that going to school is good, just like we said. Being literate is good for you to have a background, for you to do what you want to do without being cheated and know what you're doing. But having the skill to do certain things as to gain sustenance is better. So you can have skill and be able to take care of yourself, your family, and whoever. But when you go to school, you have a degree. It's just a paper that you go home with. It doesn't give you food on the table. But when you have the skill, that's why today, in most places, like my company now, I have more skilled workers than graduates. Why? Because I have to get the work done. So gain that skill. It could be digital, it could be engineering, it could be something that has to give you a calling wherever you are. And until you do that, you will not be able to move with the tide. Innovation and being able to adapt to new skills is one thing you have to also imbibe. And the last one, the third one, is what our MC has been talking about: collaboration and partnership. Collaboration and partnership. No oil field project succeeds without partnership. No oil field. No oil field product. Between government, it's always between government and the IOCs or NOCs, the indigenous companies, and service providers. All of them have to come and bring your skill, someone bring his money, someone bring his skill, put them together before you see the oil field come to prosper. The same applies in business. Collaboration multiplies impact. Learn to leverage relationship, share value, and build together. How many of you have been able to collaborate? To get an idea about something is easy. And today, if we do a test now, we'll say, everybody, bring your idea on how you want to survive, how you want to do it. There will be millions of ideas. Some of you even have 3 ideas, 4 ideas. But it's not enough to just have an idea. You have an idea, put into execution so that it becomes something that becomes sustainable and bring you food on the table. But to put it in execution, you will realize that you can't do it alone. You need partnership. You need collaboration. And collaboration doesn't mean that it must be a company. It doesn't mean it must be government. You can do it with your pair. You can call your brother. You can call your sister. And then you collaborate together to things together. I was having a meeting some 2 weeks ago with the Ugandan government. And then I am a mechanical engineer by profession. But I was looking for an oil block there. And it was like, this oil block, can you do it? But do you know what? They didn't know that I went prepared. I went with an expert in FDP that was there to answer critical questions. I was there at the end to do administrative things. And by the time they throw question, the guy was answering. Before they knew, they gave it to us that my company is good at this collaboration. So you need to get people that will not meet up, that will be able to meet up where you cannot meet up. And when you collaborate and you partner, you will realize that you will have more ends to yourself than never before. Collaboration. Okay, so now let's look at the entrepreneurial mindset. that the youth must build. Let's talk mindset, because that is where entrepreneurship truly begins. Mindset. You know, what is making Nigeria to be where they are, not being able to like achieve, is the mindset, the political will to do things. I was talking with some persons yesterday, and I told them that everything we need in Nigeria, we have. The policies that have been formulated already in Nigeria can sustain Nigeria perfectly well. If only the leadership of the country will have that political zeal, political mindset to do them the way they're supposed to be. That's all we lack. The leadership skills. If only they can do that. Otherwise, everything we want, we have. So let's look at it. Mindset. Growth. Number one is growth. Growth mindset. Failure are not final. They are just feedback, and I talked about that before. Thomas Edison formerly said, and I want you to listen to this. He said, I have not failed. I have only found 10,000 ways that will not work, that won't work. So when you do a thing and it doesn't work, you did not fail. You have only learned that that thing, that pattern of doing that, it did not work. It becomes an asset. So you don't go back to that pattern again. So you use it to tame yourself to be able to move forward. So you have to have that growth mindset. Don't forget that you can fail. You can fail when you do something, but it is not a disgrace. It is an asset. And don't look at it as a failure. Look at it as a means that did not work. So there are other means of making it work. So that means you have to build the spirit of resilience in you. Build it strong and don't allow it to dwindle. Number two, discipline and execution. Ideas, like I said before, are cheap. If I tell all of you, and all of you have ideas, even as I'm standing here now, I can tell you several ideas that what will work based on what I know. But everyone has them. The difference between dreamers and entrepreneurs is what we call execution. And that execution is the hard work. You can dream, you can have ideas, you can have feelings, but when you don't put them to work, it is non-entity. You have to learn to put it to work. And to do that, you have to execute. Execution is what differentiates you from a dreamer. As an entrepreneur, because this whole seminar is about entrepreneurship for those that are jobless. And sometimes you have a job to do, but you can still be an entrepreneur at the side to make extra money. And that makes you a leader. It builds the morale to become much more accepted in the things that concerns you. The third one is integrity and trust. In the oil and gas, a handshake can mean $1 million contract. Why? Because reputation is currency. Guide yours with your life. Now, when I wrote this thing, I remember one WhatsApp message that has been flying for some time. Now, maybe some of you have seen it. One guy like that, I think he works with GTB, and he was talking about 5 types of money. Have you seen it? 5 types of money, when he told us that the cash that we see, the cash is the least money. And that's the one all of us are looking for. All of us are looking for cash, 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 cash. He said that is the least money. So anytime I read that, and I get a lot of meaning from it. It talks about integrity. It talks about character. It talks about ability to do things. So when you are talking about getting money, what about your character? Does it portend, people having trust in you? Are you trustworthy? You have an integrity that people can look at. That's an example. He said if Mr. A, maybe one of you here, goes to Costaris and tell Costaris, I need a car, and this car is costing like 35 million naira, and I need it. I will pay in 2 weeks' time, or in a week time. They will not give you. Who are you? Who knows you? What character do you have? What is your integrity? How can we vouch for you? They will say that. But he said that while you are there saying that, and Dangote called, Costaris, is Mr. A there? Yes. Please give him a car. I'll give you that car for 20 million. I'll pay in 2 weeks. They will always say, yes, sir. And they will release that car to him. That is integrity. That is character. That is trustworthiness. So can you stay somewhere and give a call to some person somewhere and say that, look, I need this, I need that, send it to me, and they will send it to you. So building integrity and trust is something that you must empower. And if you've not seen that video, I like to look at it again. Watch it. It gives you the ability for you to begin to build yourself better than the cash that you look forward to. The fourth thing is that you need to learn how to be a problem solver. The greatest businesses solve real problems. Ask yourself, what problem exists in my community that I can solve? Even as we're here now, there are problems. There are problems everywhere. Some problems are seen, some are unseen. Some are generated, some are evolving. So you can begin to ask them, what are the problems here? How can I solve them? Let me tell you, to volunteer for a program alone is solving problems. And when you volunteer with your heart, and you do it heartedly, you are being recognized for that. And that alone can give you a job. I can give you several examples of that. So when you see problems, we're here, and some of us are here now like big men, big women. We came here, we sat down, we see that we didn't pay a dime. But when you are coming now, maybe you see some things that are not well nice. This is not well kept. You kept it well. This is not doing well. You do it well. You are rendering service unnoticed to you, but known by people. And that is solving problem. The reason why those WhatsApp guys are known today is because they decided to solve a problem that the globe now appreciates and making them become much more acceptable in the business world. What problem have you solved? Are you a problem solver or you are a problem creator? Some of us just want to create a trouble and go away. Some of us like to solve problems. Some of us even run away from trouble. I've seen several people, when they are somewhere and something is not happening well, I beg you, I don't want anything to worry me. They find a way and move away. No, solve the problem. Try to solve the problem. Don't run away. There is a saying that when you leave a problem you're supposed to solve, it follows you. You go and meet bigger problems. So solve it and move on. So as entrepreneurs, you should learn to solve problems. And lastly, you should have a global thinking. Forget the local roots. It's not bad to start local, but have a global thinking. Be ambitious. Be ambitious such that you say, oh, I have this company. It's starting here now in this street. From this street, I need to connect two other streets. From two other streets, I need to connect the state, the community, and then all. Don't make a mindset of having just a single, thinking or a local thinking. Because complete locally, but build to global standard. If you are a Nigerian entrepreneur, your business should be good enough to stand anywhere in the world. And that's what I think you should do. Okay, let's go to opportunities for the youths at emerging industries. I know my time is going on. I need to be a bit faster. Now let's look ahead. The next decade will bring incredible opportunities. I say it again. The next decade will bring incredible opportunities. Don't forget, I already talked about digital skills. And these opportunities are coming at so fast that you should be prepared. Otherwise, you'll be left alone. One of them is the renewable energy and green tech. With the world pushing towards the net zero 2050, Nigeria needs entrepreneurs who can power homes and industries sustainably. Now, I was in Rwanda and I was talking with the government. And when I was talking with the government, they had methane. Now, here in Nigeria, we can only do distillation through the crude oil after refining distillation, passing through the demethanizer before we have methane. Even that methane, C1 that we have, it is not 100% pure. You still have some degree of ethane, propane, and all that. So sometimes you're lucky you get 99%, sometimes 98%, sometimes 97%. In Rwanda, they have 100% methane, but they don't have any other hydrocarbon. And now they are actually exporting propane from India for them to survive. Propane, every time when it comes like that, they use it for cooking gas, and they are happy that they are getting it. But their challenge is that, how can we have abundance of methane? We cannot get propane. Now they're looking for who is going to come to provide propane for them to have cooking gas without having getting imported from India. When they told me that challenge, I said, this is a big challenge and it's a big market. I am telling you, whoever that has an idea, challenge me. I'm thinking of solving that problem. It's a multi-million-dollar project contract that I want to solve. If you have an idea, petroleum engineer, I'm challenging you. Come to me and tell me that we can get propane, LPG, without methane. One of it is that maybe we can go and build a modular refinery and then maybe get a blending plant to be able to make sure that we inject in butane and heavier components and then some methane and maybe do a cracking so that we can get propane out. It's an idea. I have not solved it chemically. I'm throwing it to you. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to make it, I have given you a job. If you can get this, find me anywhere, I will take it to Rwanda and your name will be worldwide. Even as I'm looking for people that will be able to make me solve that problem from all over the world, I am telling you now also, that is something for you to think of. Think of renewable energy. And now in renewable energy, these guys are not just thinking about solar. They have solar, they have wind, they are thinking of geothermal, they are thinking of biomass, and all of them together because they want to have energy sustainability, sustenance in all. They want to stop using crude oil. They want to stop using things from the hydrocarbon because of the Kyoto principles, things of the ozone layer. But are we thinking like that? So there is a job. Renewable energy is one of them. There's a digital economy, cybersecurity, data science, AI. These are not foreign concepts anymore. They are industries worth billions of naira. And young people are best placed to lead them. We are talking about digital economy. The AI, the machine learning, they're everywhere. It's not something you will say it's a white man thing anymore. We have them here in Nigeria. Are you finding yourself in it? It can give you power, it can give you strength, it can give you money. It's something you have to think of. These opportunities that I'm telling you as entrepreneurs. I've given you the first one, I've given you the second one. The third one is the agri-tech and the food security. By 2050, Africa's population is projected to double. Who will feed us when that happens? Youth. The youth-led innovations in agriculture is critical. If you observe in all this Internet of Things, you will see that there are a lot of agricultural inputs, especially from Israel, that are being propagated and being shown. There are some people that they just need a small place like that. They will grow so many things. So I saw one particular where yam is grown in a pipe. They plant the yam, the pipe is there, it does not cover. So they have several pipes. All the yam are growing in a pipe, and not just one yam. It's like 1, 2, 3 yam growing. And within a couple of weeks and few months, not like the one we do here. So I'm starting to think, these ones, will they be really edible? Will they be the real yam? So agri-tech is something that you have to try and make sure that apart from sustaining your family, you can find a way to export. And it's a technology that is going everywhere. When you go to TikTok, when you go to your social media, please don't just go there and be looking at people dancing. Don't just go there and be looking at, I've been doing yourself like this to show that you're in one country or you're in one city or you're in one fine place. Learn something from it. Learn what people are posting there. Look at the technologies that are there. Imbibe on them. Learn from them. And make it a part of you to earn a living. Creative economy. Nollywood today is regarded as one of the best industries, generating about $6 billion. Art music. We have music in Nigeria. Art fashion. Fashion is becoming very strong in Nigeria. And gaming. These are opportunities that you can launch. If you know you are not in any of the kind of opportunities, but when you go there, go with the mindset of making sure that you have growth, not the mindset of going to just be part and parcel of them. There are services and logistics. From fintech to transportation, services remain a backbone of our economy. And these services, they range from place to place based on demand and what is expected. So they are peculiar. And these are things you can actually launch on. Now, there was a day, some years back, I was teaching people on what you can use 100,000 naira to do as a business. People don't believe that 100,000 naira can do a business. And I was able to fetch out 20 things you can do with 100,000 naira and start making money. And when I told them, they said, wow, I was able to empower about 5 persons. That was about 5 years ago. They were able to sustain themselves and their family. And they were busy until they got bigger. So when you are thinking, refuse to say there is nothing available. Refuse to undermine anything. Show perfection and go for it, the goal. And the sky will be your limit. Okay, so let's talk about the power of collaboration. Entrepreneurship is not a solo sport, like I said before. Even Dangote, that we respect today, the Africa's richest man, does not build alone. He partners, he collaborates, and he leverages on network. So for some of you that have read about the Dangote refinery, you know how many persons that borrowed the money. You know how many persons that invested in it. Even up to now, if you go to the share capital, you will see people that are there. His name is up there, but it's not his own alone. There are people that have invested, that have collaborated. So you need to learn how to leverage networks and then partner with people by way of collaboration. Look at Nigeria startups like Flutter Waves, like MoneyPoint and the Paystack. They scaled globally because of collaboration and partnership, not just solitary journeys. You cannot do it alone. So refuse to do it alone. Some of us, like when we're writing an exam in those days, yes, that one, they don't allow you to copy, so you cannot copy. You will be just hiding your thing. Okay, that's accepted. You hide your thing and write, no problem. But this one, don't hide it. Don't hide your knowledge. Share it with people. Ask for collaboration. Partner with people and ensure that you bring it into execution. By so doing, you will make a good earning for yourself. So my charge to you as entrepreneurs is build together, don't just build alone. When you build together, you will actually gain better insight than just building alone. The last one I want to tell you is for call for action. Rise and build. I'm calling for action. Friends, brothers, sisters, everybody that is here, you must rise. You must rise above fear. You must rise above doubt. You must rise above excuses. And you must build. You must build businesses. You should build networks. You should build legacies. Create partnership. And do not allow yourself to be a single solo person, because you will crash with time. Do not wait for perfect conditions. That is what I call procrastination. It is not part of me. I hate that word, procrastination. When you say, I will do it tomorrow, you have lost 24 hours in what you need to get. When you have the concept, bam, start it. Start the collaboration. Go for it. And ensure that you have people around you to support you. Because when you delay, it could be dangerous when you want to start. Do not wait for perfection, perfect condition. Start with what you have now, where you are now, and grow steadily. Grow steadily. And you can do multiple things as far as your mind and your strength can carry you. Remember the African proverb, and I want to say this very well. If you want to walk fast, you will go alone. But if you want to go far, you do what? You go together. So if you want to go fast, you can go fast alone, but I bet you no time you get tired and you fall. But if you really want to make impact, ask somebody to go with you. I want to close because I know that I've taken some time. I'm trying to rush to close. So in closing, I want to tell you something, that in my journey as a person, from my oil fields to my boardroom, now I own a board where I'm chairman, I have this board meeting, has taught me anything, it is what I call courage. If from my oil field to me resigning, when I was resigning, people said, you are resigning, you will suffer, you are resigning. Today, I'm telling you the truth, my peers that are still in the company are envious of me, very envious. I was in SPE conference, this last one, and I exhibited. They came to my booth, they said, wow, George, is it you? Is it, you mean you are doing this? Ah, are you serious? And I was paying their lunch, I was taking some of them out, I gave some people some tip, and they were surprised. So the courage is one thing you should not allow to fail you. You have to have integrity for you to stand out. You have to have the vision that can rewrite your story. And when you have this trait, just move on. Be unstoppable. And I'll tell you, the sky will be your starting point. The future of Nigeria is not written in government documents. It is not sealed in oil field or stored in bank. It is written in your dreams, and in the enterprise you choose to build today. So as I end, and as I go back to my seat, I leave you with this. Rise and build. The world is your stage. Thank you for listening.
If that's how you want to clap, I will say the closing prayer. Clap like you mean it. Yes, I have people that I envy and I aspire to be like in the building, then plenty. Mr. Olomati, you're welcome, sir. I've been telling them that I know you. I'm just bragging that I know him. And we have shades in common. I'll teach this one. Thank you very much, sir. That was awesome. If you've been taking notes, remember, I gave us a floor to build on. Collaboration is a three-legged stool. First, ideas. Second, management. That is where the real business of the day happens. And then the third is always what we always prioritize. The last thing you need is money. Because I've seen people who got money and they died before their time. It happens a whole lot. If you have no idea, money is just going to increase your problem. Thank you very much for that, sir. It was awesome. All right, our guest of honor is here, and it is time for him. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor holds an MBBS degree from the prestigious University of Nigeria. He also holds a postgraduate diploma in family medicine from the National Postgraduate Medicine College of Nigeria. a master's degree in business administration, and a master's of science in healthcare management from the University of Port Harcourt Business School. He has received multiple level trainings locally and internationally by his trainings in clinical ultrasound medicine at the St. George's Ultrasound Institute in Ibadan, Nigeria. He was awarded the Makaso accreditation in ultrasonography, an honor that earned him membership in the American Association of Sonologists. Dr. Odo is a private investor in hospital and allied healthcare services. He owns and operates Meridian Hospitals Limited as its group medical limited as its chairman and CEO. He is the chairman and CEO of Pyramid Integrated Services Limited and chairman CEO Century Medicaid Services Limited. Dr. Odo is also the international president of Pilgrims Africa Health Foundation. That is a non-government organization committed to a healthcare support initiatives in Nigeria through free medical missions, youth education, human capital development, as well as social advocacy. A passionate philanthropist, Dr. Odo has produced over 25 university graduates through his network of scholarship schemes. He is a professional with an eye for excellence and unwavering commitment to skill development and deliberate inclination to leadership. Dr. Odo spent the last 3 decades of his medical career supporting healthcare delivery in Nigeria using the institutional framework of the hospital and allied facilities to advocate the industry and support the Nigerian people. He has built human capacity across professional divides, creating employment opportunities for hundreds of Nigerians, a public commentator, trainer, analyst, and mentor. He has numerous publications on health and related contemporary leadership issues. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor, none other than the Chief Medical Director of Mediterranean Hospitals Limited, Chairman CEO of Pyramid Diagnostic Services Limited, Ambassador Dr. Ike U. Odo. You can do better than that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, special thanks to the convener of this August event, Engineer Wonodimosu, and his team. Special thanks to co-presenters who are in the house, and especially to our keynote speaker, a man I'm glad to have met, to have seen, and to have now touched, because I gave him a handshake. And so I can go out and tell the world that he is real. You know, many times you hear tales, and you think these are folklore. Young man with an unusual tendency, expressing and espousing courage. And I'm happy to say that he didn't just come here to teach, he came to express what he was teaching and what he taught. I thank you, sir, on behalf of these great Nigerians, because the joy of what is going on here is what many don't understand. Like you said, I was to be here at 10. I called to say I was on my way, and I was asked to studied a bit, and I had to reorganize myself. Came in still past 11. The hall was not set. Hall was set, but you're not going to be talking to an open space, an empty space. And I challenge you, if this was about eating and drinking and whining, or one political confusion, this entire premises will not contain the crowd, because that is the way of those who have no destination. But this is an opportunity, a ground where men will rise from ignorance to wisdom, from a directionless flight to a radar-guided movement to a defined destination. I'm privileged to be here. Unlike the keynote speaker, this is my first time, and I want to thank you for having your hand in what is happening, and we can see the benefits. For those of us who are here, who have come to this event, please don't just come to sit down to listen. Come sitting there with an expectation. Come with a vision. Come hungry to learn, not just to learn, but release yourself to be transformed. Release yourself to be hit by an idea, because at the end of the day, you will come to know that nothing powers you, nothing transforms you. Excuse me. Nothing takes you to where you want to go. Indeed, nothing defines your destination outside the idea you carry. But no idea, no matter how powerful, no matter how potentially able to make you the greatest man, until you give that idea definition, planning, and most importantly, having the courage to act, because action is the only dynamic that will transform the greatest ideas into reality. Until you take action, that beautiful idea is like a golden seed, or the most beautiful seed on a golden table. As long as it lies there, it will soon rot and be wasted. But that idea, that seed must go into the soil to have the chance of sprouting, of germinating, then growing, and then bearing fruits. I started out by telling myself that it is more difficult to fail than to succeed. And many will not understand. It is more difficult to fail than to understand. And anywhere I make this statement, I challenge them to challenge me. Because it doesn't take much to succeed. It doesn't take much to fail. As much as it takes so little to succeed as it takes so little to fail, succeeding is more in tandem with the mandate of creation. But life is about increase. Life is about change. Life is about continuous improvement. But because it takes very little to succeed, the common things of life, honesty, integrity, passion, hard work, holding a vision, having courage, being reliable, and being patient. Show me that man who has all these, and none of them cost money. And yet, put them together, carry them along, you will get to your destination, and that destination can only be success. Therefore, you can agree with me that indeed it is more difficult to fail than to succeed. When we talk about rising, to excel, rise and build, rise to greatness, rise out of the valleys, rise from your slumber, rise from your confusion, rise from your indolence, rise from your apathy, rise from your wishful thinking, rise from procrastinations, rise from self-doubt, rise from unbelief, rise from impossibility thinking. And I tell you, many fail not because they should fail. Many fail because they fear to fail. And because they fear to fail, they fear to act for fear of being seen to have failed. And when you fail to act, unfortunately, your greatest fear catch up with you because the failure is 100%. The only time you have a chance to succeed is when you have taken a step of action. Yes, you may not succeed, but there's a chance you can succeed. And why should you fail when you can succeed? When there is courage and there is zeal and the desire is there. It's not possible to fail. Like I say always, each time a man fails, he could have succeeded just by doing the same thing differently. Each time you fail, you could have succeeded. And each time you succeed, you could have failed. That is why succeeding or failing is a choice you must make. It's a choice we make. And no man who decides to succeed, like I said, who dreams big and thinks big and plans big, talks big, acts big, and believes big, there's no room for failure. And all these states are free. The most expensive things in life are the things men strive for. And yet the freest of them, which are the most important, the most useful, the building blocks of greatness are despised. Those, as a matter of fact, many who fail because they don't believe that the little things around them are sufficient to lead them to where they are going. Many are waiting to do big things to succeed, waiting to do great things to become great. But the truth is that nobody does anything great to become great. You heard our keynote speaker. By doing little things, the same little things many ignore. Take good care of little things. Manage little things. Handle little things with passion. Great things will come on their own. Nobody works for greatness by doing great things. But if you do the little things well, greatness will come as a guest while you sleep because you paid the price. That is the secret you must understand. Greatness is by your side at every moment. But do you recognize it? Do you believe? Many sitting here believe and have convinced themselves that until they become like the keynote speaker, until they become the senior manager of Ajib Oil Company, until they become chairman CEO, they do not have what it takes. But I challenge you sitting here, just as you are, you have got everything you need to be transformed. and to become the greatest of the man or woman God has made you to be. The greatest accomplishments of men began with a thought that produced an idea. And I said, ideas are the driving force of greatness. For its wings are encrypted the visions of men. The ideas of men carry your vision. Because without it, you have no destination. And without destination, there's no direction. So sitting here, make up your mind to hold a destination. Desire that an idea strikes you. Determine that you will not leave this hall the same. And in living here, a changed person. Just like the Bible itself said, be ye transformed by the changing of your mind. Be ye transformed by the changing of your mind. The Holy Book itself has prescribed it. You cannot change. You cannot become different. You cannot succeed. You cannot excel. You cannot become what you want to become, except there's an inner transformation. And so change is not external. What you see as externally are the products of the internal restructuring. And that's about your idea shifting. The moment your idea changes, your belief will change. Your likes will change. Your adjustments will change. Your adaptations will change. The things you used to waste time on will change. Your focus will change. Your actions will change. And your result must change. Because change cannot occur by a mere dream, not by expectations, not by wishful thinking. It must be an intentional, purpose-driven, deliberate measure to transform and reverse, make what was different. Until a man's ideas change, that man cannot be different. So your mindset must shift. Sitting here, therefore, be eager as you focus. Let an idea strike you. Until that idea comes, you will not leave a different person. And you cannot get to a different destination. Every man out there you see is as big as he believes he is. And nobody becomes bigger than he believes he is worth. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Many believe their background does not prepare them for greatness. Oh, my great-grandfather was a palm wine tapper. My father was a carpenter. My mother, a petit trader. We all live, 15 of us in one room. For you, it has become lifestyle. For you, a destiny. But I challenge you, I dare you this moment. It is not true. Break that jinx by changing your believing, by doubting that status quo, by destroying that consuming negative thoughts. Because anybody can succeed. Every man you see out there carries in him or her a DNA for greatness. Hello? Each of us in this hall is carrying a DNA for greatness. But you must fire it up. You must get it ruptured. You must invade it to release it. Many die unsung because their DNA remains inactivated because of doubt, because of unbelief, because of superstitions. Your background, therefore, is not an excuse. Your gender is not an excuse. Age is not an excuse. Are Afeba Balola told me about 4 years ago when I went to pay him visit to honor him. Then I was the national president of Nigerian Private Medical Practitioners. And he said to me, Dr. Odo, I started Afeba Balola University at the age of 83. At the age of 80, rather. He said, today I am 83 years old. And I still drive the activities, the administration of this university. Today, I'm sure it's about 97. Still strong. Ordinarily at 80, many will have written their will and waiting for the last bread. It is not true. Afeba Balola, one of the best in Africa today, was established by a man 80 years of age. And he said to me, I have broken that jinx that age can be a barrier. Age, therefore, is in the mind. Now, just like the keynote speaker told us, many are distracted. Many of the youth today ask 9 out of 10, they want money. People are applying for jobs, but in their mind, they are not applying to work, they're applying for money. And they come, occupy space, having no value to add to the table, demand, and having no orientation, having no desire to improve, averse to correction, averse to learning. All they want is the money, but they hate to do the things that bring the money. And that's why I've said here that give ₦1 billion to a fool. And who is the fool? The man without self-realization, the man who doesn't know who he is, the man without vision, the man without charisma, the man without emotional intelligence, the man who hates humility, the man who has no trust, and the man you cannot trust, the man who is windblown. He's after what he eats and what he drinks. Give him ₦1 billion, and in 6 years, he reverts to poverty where he truly belongs. But sell a great idea to a young man or woman with knowledge, with courage, with a desire to excel, and such a man or woman with character. Cast him into the world with such traits. In a year, you will meet him a millionaire. No money anywhere. But the virtues you carry are worth more than money. They attract money. And I have said that wealth is not wealth. Wealth is not money and what money can buy. Wealth is that nature of man in character, in virtue, in courage, in desire, and in vision that we create free as they are, none of these will cost money. But put them together, they will generate the most money. This is what young women today don't understand. I don't have the opportunity because, in fact, I was told I was going to have just 5 minutes to address this house. I'm already in breach, so I won't go further than this. Otherwise, I will have shared the story of my journey in Meridian hospitals. It was a journey that began on empty hands, empty pocket, but a great dream, a great vision, with a determination to reject whoever comes around to say it's not possible. Because I told myself at the very beginning that with God, all things are possible. And that possibility begins with your believing. And today, that's where we are. I'm moving forward. Let me simply remark to us, leveraging on institutional support for youth empowerment. Yes, we belong to an unusual environment. Nigeria is an unusual environment, very unusual. The things the world knows, great definitions, great attributes, great traits, great principles and ideologies, when they come into the country, flying across the ocean, they lose their components. When I make this statement, people laugh. I say they lose one ear, lose one eye, lose 5 fingers, lose one leg. That's what we inherit. Because nothing here remains what it should be out there. One, we are not original. We are not creative as a nation by reason of leadership. The real creators are you sitting here. We are only praying for that time to come when the system, the governance, the administration will allow your ingenuity, your creativity to see the light of day and to truly influence the growth and development of this country as a gift to the world. You sitting here are the future of tomorrow. That's why you are also the foundation of today. In nearby Rwanda, I was there. Nothing happens anywhere in government, in the community without the youth. They are in the forefront. In their parliament, youth occupy 30%. It's a constitutional matter. They are building around their youth and therefore guaranteeing sustainability in ideology, in philosophy, in national policies and orientation. And so the youth are planned for. There are empowerment opportunities, individual and institutionalized. But here, go through the list, a long list, many of them moribund. Each government comes and flies its own kite. Billions of naira will be carried away as they're exiting, it goes down. Another comes and flies its own kite. Billions will also go down the drain. A time comes, you lose count of where we are coming from and where we are. That is the bane of this nation. Otherwise, I know that we saw names like Youth Entrepreneurship Support Program, the ESP, Lead Africa. Of course, Tony Elumelu Foundation is still there because he's an individual. He's giving activity, giving reality, sustaining the life of his own vision. If it was another government thing, perhaps it would have been gone. Nigerian youth entrepreneur, yeah. Youth empowerment friendly commercial banks, of course, the loans are there, but are they really youth friendly? How can they be youth-friendly? In this house as we speak, there are geniuses amongst you. There are men and women with a dream to transform themselves and their nation and generation. But with bare hands. But I tell you, with your dream, remaining positive and keeping yourself within the confines of humanity, you can be trusted. Never mind, remain focused. You will not understand how it happens. Because in such a positive environment, you stare the atmosphere of the miraculous and things happen. By the time you give your testimony, people will wonder, you too will not understand. But it takes the same courage and the waiting time of patience. Otherwise, we had the story of Mark Zuckerberg. What about Bill Gates? Another dropout. He had an idea, waited patiently. Of course, the same idea could have manifested much later, but because he was in the right environment at the right time, a bank gave him $1 million. A poor boy, without collateral, without any record of performance. They believed, that bank believed in his idea. Where did iPhone start from? Steve Jobs and his team. In a container, they couldn't afford the rent of a house. Another bank gave them $2 million. Now see where they are. Imagine what it would have meant and what it means to those banks. A bank giving you $2 million and maybe 1% equity. Today, that is enough to make that bank billions of dollars in the labor market. But you mustn't be me, I cannot be you. You mustn't be in Canada, you mustn't be in Rwanda. This is Nigeria. Even at the worst of times, the greatest opportunities what abound. You just have to believe that this is possible. Because many times we think that the grass is greener on the other side. But if you water your grass wherever you are, it will become green. And I tell most Nigerians who are eager to jet out to Canada, to America, to Australia, many of you are standing on gold and diamond, begging food, looking for where to go, abandoning reality. People should stop looking up for what it takes to express their innermost traits of greatness. It is on the ground. Because it's on the ground, and many are too proud to bend, they don't see it. That is why you cannot excel without humility, because it takes only humility for you to bow and for you to bend, to conquer. Thank you.
It also takes humility to appreciate value when it is given to you for free. Clap for our guest of honor. Thank you very much, sir. I just have a concern. You know, people who are, like I said earlier, I am the SI unit of height. If you're plus or minus 2 inches above or beneath me, you're either too tall or too short. So Honorable Olomati is too tall. But my problem is some persons are minus 20 inches beneath me and they are not humble. People who are near ground already cannot be down to earth. It's a problem. So if you're here and you're short and you're prideful, your own case is special. Retweet it, sir. They know you're here for the back. Sharp. Oh, yes. Okay. I have with me some print copies. This is by Isioma Abadiba. This is called Frank Focus. If everything we've been saying here is still not simplified enough for you, this publication has been written to help you. Focus is one of the greatest challenges in the 21st century. We are in the digital era. It has its upsides and downsides. I don't do any work on my mobile phone with my mobile data on. If I must, I try to use the computer and shut off the WhatsApp app. Because the moment you try, I don't know if it's just me, moment you try to take an important note with your data on, you will now see one very important message. And sometimes you carry a very important link that will take you from your notepad to your WhatsApp, to your Opera Mini, to your YouTube. Before you know, they don't break. Is it just me? So it has its upsides and downsides. So if focus is your issue, Frank Focus will help you. There are practical ways to help you focus. Because if we are not focusing, then there is trouble, right? I think focus, they told me that focus is acronym for follow one course until success. If that is how you see it too, this shows you how to follow one course. This publication for 4,500 naira originally, but Frank has said those who are in this premises are getting it for a minus 1,500. So for only 3,000 is there, you'll get Frank Focus. Offer valid while we are still assembled at Camp David. And then this one is called Rise Above by the same author. Rise Above is, like our keynote speaker has said, there are challenges. Like I started earlier, challenges are inevitable, right? So when they come, how do you rise against? My primary concern, again, in the 21st century is self-sabotage. But thank you very much once again. Because your father is broke doesn't justify brokenness. And I'll say that one more time. People say the love of money is the lack of evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. I say yes, I agree with you. But I tell you with full confidence, the lack of money is evil. Love of money in that context is when you prioritize money above all things. When money is more important than your salvation, that is when it is evil. But whether you pursue salvation or salvation pursue you, if you lack money, it's a sin. Man's basic needs revolve around money. Food, shelter, clothing. You don't have money, you don't get them. I mean, those are the basics of the basics. And then you increase from there. DSTV subscription, airtime, a change phone, the car, and the rest of them. Tell your neighbor, make money. You're not talking like say minimum. Tell them, make money. All right. So we are going to move into the panel session. And it is that session where we answer your questions. The panelists will do justice to that. Again, these publications are meant to help us. It's also 4,500, but both of them are selling for 3,000 naira. I don't know, maybe if you're buying the two of them, you might get more discounts, but it is there. You can ask them your 1,000 questions. Our panel session is going to be, like I said, I can imagine some of the questions in your head. As I was seated there, I was taking notes, and I'm pretty sure you're taking notes, and I'm sure you have some questions. We'll try to answer those questions. If we don't answer them, then you might ask those questions. So our panelists have been here since we started. Nigerians, I wonder why we spend money to buy wristwatches, most of us. But like I say, they're useful. But no wahala, better late than never, right? Better later than never. So our first panelist is the Managing Director and CEO of Well Fluid Services. He is fully represented by Engineer Prince Ochuku. Engineer Prince Ochuku, are you here? Did you take your leave? It was supposed to be Dr. Martin Zokoro, but he sent us a delegate. While we are waiting for Engineer Ochuku, the next of our panelists is an accomplished Nigerian businessman, philanthropist, and strategic business coach. He is an expert in real estate development, entrepreneurship, and media. His brand, FaceTime Pictures, has achieved national recognition and even attracted international clientele. He diversified his business portfolio in 2012, venturing into trading and distributing of exotic wines. Cognac, champagne, cognac and champagne rather. Mr. Bolaji also founded Odibola Properties Limited, a global real estate development company that has made significant contributions to the real estate industry in River State and Nigeria. With his extensive experience and expertise, he has made significant contributions to the Nigerian business community and beyond. Born in Port Harcourt, River State, Mr. Olusegun, born in Port Harcourt, River State to Mr. Olusegun and Mrs. Esther Osha Bukola of Ilesha in Ilesha East Local Government of Ogun State. Bolaji grew up with 4 siblings in loving and supportive family environments. He developed a passion for sports, particularly polo and cycling, and loves spending leisure time watching movies with his family. Throughout his childhood, Mr. Oshabukola was a diligent and hardworking student, excelling in both academics and extracurricular activities. He was known for his exceptional leadership skills and his ability to work well with others. Bolaji is a distinguished alumnus of Olanada Primary School, Port Harcourt, River State, where he received his early education and then proceeded to Government Secondary School, Okoronodo, Port Harcourt, River State. Without further ado, gentlemen and ladies, I would like to welcome the CEO of Odibola Properties Limited and Chairman, Real People's Foundation, Mr. Bolaji Oshabukola. You're very welcome, sir. Please take your seats. And a BSc in accounting. Who writes this thing? Forgive them. A BSc in accounting, and you're not clapping. All right. In UST, from UST. All right. So those who go UST, it has been reoccurring. UST is not a small school. Just that it's second to another one in the same states. City, the next is my brother from another mother. You see, I consider myself so blessed. I'm the first son of my mom, but I have plenty elder siblings. Plenty. Collaborative partnership, family relationship. I don't know how I want to put them. But I have too many elder brothers. I don't know how many elder siblings I have. And today you meet some of them. But this one, I senior him. I'm a younger sibling. He is a social entrepreneur, a young leader. He's a speaker and a professional development coach. This man is the chief executive officer of Build Golden Construction Company. He is the founder of Googleplex Universe. Like not Google, Googleplex Universe, and the founder of Young Leaders Foundation Club, a small family of people who aspire to dream bigger than their environment. He is, like I said, my friend and brother from another household, none other than Mr. Golden Ubachuku. If you're not jealous of that young man, you clap better. Build Golden. I greet you, brother. Good to have you out here. And then the next on our panel list is a Climate Action and Sustainability Fellow, CASF, with a decade of experience in administration, human resources, public relations, and business development in the petroleum, healthcare, and not-for-profit sectors. This young man currently works in the circular economy as co-founder and managing director of Lustre Plastics Recycling. Also, he is the South-South coordinator of Recyclers Association of Nigeria, a climate action and sustainability fellow, like I said earlier, with a decade of experience in administration, human resources, public relations, and business development. He is my friend and brother again, by the name Daniel Ntia. Might add PhD or SSCE. He's the CEO of Lustre Plastic. He's helping us stay conscious of our environment. Recycling is now a thing. And that is not all. It would be wrong to have great men and not balance the equation, if you know what that means. Right? So there is an Odogu wine. One of my numerous elder sisters. This woman, they cook. No visitor. I don't tell you. She they cook. She is a procurement and logistics expert, the founder and CEO of Ains Importations and Logistics. They are heavily into all scales of importation. You hear mini importation, she is your guy. You hear midi importation, she's still your guy. You now hear maxi importation, she's still your guy. Help me welcome the lady among men, Lydia Osinachi, as she takes her place in this mix. Sunday day close, I will visit you. As much as I would have loved to anchor this session, we have a better representative. Okay, you're very welcome. I hope you'll be present on Judgment Day. Engineer Prince Ochuku, fully representing the, Dr. Martin Zokoro, the Managing Director of Well Fluid Services Limited. We have with us a professional interviewer who has done this on many different skills. He is a Nigerian-born broadcast journalist, a PR strategist, and realtor. He is the founder and CEO of Dayford Network Limited, a leading media company based in Nigeria with tenancies spread across Africa and Europe. He is the anchor of the entertainment, tech, health, and area talk show on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Also a holder of the prestigious BBC Media Leaders Certificate, a philanthropist, writer, and the founder of Dave Roberts Foundation. This man goes by the name Dave Roberts. If you don't know the voice, if you don't know the face, you know the voice. He's an anchor with Today FM. Dave Roberts is going to be anchoring this session, as that is what he does every other day. Probably he doesn't want to stand. The applause is too small, it's too low. The big Dave, another of my elder brothers. I like it when I come out and people like the way I dress. And that's how they teach my brothers things. Like your shoe now, go move them. Automatic glasses. I'm just accumulating my list. All right. I'm going to have to distribute the mics. There are more. Please take this one. Let's see if it works.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. All right, please put your hands together for yourselves. And as much as you can, welcome the neighbor close to you. Tell that neighbor you're welcome. Can you smile to the neighbor close to you? Ask the neighbor, how is this seminar going with you? All right, let's do something quickly. Let's borrow some time. Can you get up, walk up to 5 people, share your personal contact with them, interact with them, tell them, hey, my name is so and so and so and so. This is what I do. This is where I'm from. I would like to get your contact. I would like to know you, because you do not know the next person you're seated close to. Can we do that in the next 10 seconds? 1 to go. My name is so, and yes, I'm seeing some people sitting down. Good, 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 good. Make sure you interact. Please, I would need an usher to come Make sure you interact. Make sure you say hello. I am into logistics. I am into engineering. I am into tech. Please, I'll need an usher to come. Just one usher. Thank you very much. Please, I need an usher. Did the neighbor tell you what they are into? Seated amongst us here, we have dignitaries, big names, captains of industries. You'll never know the next big client you would have. All right. Are we done? All right, please put your hands together for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. When I say put your hands together for yourselves, I would need you to do that. Thank you very much. We can wrap up with that. We'll still have the time to do that. I'm seeing a lot of people still interacting. I wanted to use this as an opportunity for you to also stretch your legs and get more comfortable. All right. My name is Dave Robert. I'm a broadcast journalist and a PR consultant. The name of my company is Dayford Network Limited, and we offer PR services to clients in and out of Nigeria, getting their brands established mostly in the continent, Africa, Nigeria. And this is the third year I've been here. It's my third experience. And it'll be my wonderful pleasure to anchor this particular session, where we'll get the opportunity to ask questions, we'll get the opportunity to hear from people who are doing big things in their industries. Can I hear you say rise and build? Rise and build. Can you tell the person sitting close to you, rise and build? So without wasting much time, I would like to begin this session by throwing out the questions. Please, if we have the microphones, I would like it to be shared across to all the panelists so we can begin. Please take your notes, write the questions you have ready, because after now, we'll be giving you the opportunity for you to ask your questions. If you go through the program itself, if you go through the content of what we are going to be talking about, you would see the conversation boldly written, which is beyond the hustle, creating systems and structures that scale your business. Beyond the hustle, beyond waking up every morning 9 to 5, beyond having that entrepreneurial skill, beyond delivery, beyond having clients. How can you scale up? How can you create systems? How can you create structures for your business to thrive? So I would like to throw out some questions, and I would randomly do that by no means selection, but by the requisite people I think have the knowledge to answer that. So let's start with the first question for today. And I would like to give it to Mr. Odibola himself, because he's a very audacious man. If you hear him talk, you would know that he knows how to sell and convince people, you know, into doing the best things that they can do for themselves, if it's in business or in reality. So let me give this question directly to Mr. Odibola. Now, we have situations where many founders and business owners have their business tied to them. For example, the name Odibola, that's your personal name. That's not your personal name. Okay, that's the name people know you as. They refer to you as. Now, if you take away the name Odibola from your business, how do you merge having people depend on the structure that you have created already without the person or the name, for example, Odibola affiliated to it? So my question for you now is, how do we distinguish between entrepreneurship and simply sophisticated self-employment, knowing fully well that most businesses are tied to their owners? How do we distinguish between entrepreneurship and self-employment, knowing fully well that most businesses are tied to their owners?
Thank you very much. Hello, are you hearing me, right? Okay, thank you very much. You know, when you talk about creating a system, if you want to put yourself into your business, one of the implications is that you will be restless. You won't have time for yourself. You will always be there for things to work. Once you're not there, things will not move. But you also know that in this part of the world, because we must face the reality, people are not working for people any longer. That is one of the major challenges we have in Nigeria today. So in as much as most of us, because of our vision, because of our own pursuit, we decided to create a system, but also create a monitoring perimeter to the system, which help us to also see what happens within the system. Now, in my company, as Odibola Properties, I can travel. In fact, I'm traveling next week and I'm staying for 15 days outside the country. Things will run. I travel when I needed to travel. Because I'm an executive, I'm the CEO. If I go into operations, it simply means I'm not growing. So I have a COO, a retired Naval Commodore, that does operation. We have the subunits. I have the accountant. I have the HRO. So I created that system in Odibola, whereby I just get feedback and monitor processes. You know, as a self-employed person, you will not leave your company any day because everybody wants to hear from you for them to function. They need you to say something. They don't believe in any other person.
Yes.
Don't create the belief system around yourself alone. You know, I told people that if the security man is in my company, he's representing my image. So is my image divided into the security man, the COO, the accountant, the HRO. So if you can't listen to them, it becomes an eye service you are doing with me. It simply means you cannot listen to me. It's just that you are pretending to listen to me because you feel I'm the CEO. You know, so I create a system where people don't have to, you know, do eye service. So I don't need to be there for things to work. And how am I achieving that? If you disobey your head, HOD, you are queried. By the time you are queried and you answer query 2, 3, 4 times and you are sacked, it simply means the company is not me saying before something happens, right? So we created this structure down. So for you to succeed as a business person, you start from that self level where you go up and start creating that structure that can sustain your business. Dangote cannot succeed being everywhere.
Yes.
But there are places Dangote needs to be. Like recently, my company have a little controversy where we did an acquisition and some persons came to say some words outside, positioning us like land grabber. I needed to come as the CEO, let people hear my own version. And I followed it up. That case, I don't need someone to represent me. I'm the one doing it myself because we are in a country where people want to hear from you if you're an expert in your profession. So I came, I did my explanation, and I'm still telling them because it's an opportunity too to turn the negative publicity to positive one to grow my company. Everything for a businessman is an opportunity. We are opportunists.
Please,
So they gave
can
me.
Can you take that again?
Everything for a businessman is an opportunity. We are opportunists. They gave me the opportunity to promote my company, and I'm doing it. So people are saying, you don't do now, we don't hear you now, sorry now. I say, no, you know, go sorry. So I'm still pushing. So that is how it works. There are times as a CEO, you are needed. Your presence is needed. There are meetings you need to attend yourself. Because for you to be a CEO, you are expert in that field. There are things and time people don't need to represent you. You need to be there yourself. So you need to up your game to that position where everything you do, people don't, because if people are the one holding your company, once they leave too, your company is dead. So, but when you create a structure, when the accountant leave, the next accountant comes, she can flow with it. When the HR will leave, the new HR will come, they just flow with it, and that is how it works. It's like a government. Governor leaves, another governor comes, the system runs. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, I still need you to answer one particular question. Since you already talked about delegation, I would like to tie a connection between delegation and trust. How do you build trust enough to delegate to certain people? Do you just assume by capacity or by functionality?
Well, when it comes to organization, we look at capacity. We look at capacity based on delegation. Now, if I delegate something to you, that means there is an expectation. Let's assume I sent you for an errand and I gave you money. I've delegated, right? And you went for that errand and you did not give me the required feedback because you fiddle with the money. It simply means you cannot be trusted, isn't it? But I've already delegated to you and I find out that you are not trusted. The next thing I do as an organization is that I query you or I stop sending you such an error that will affect or that will make you act the way you have acted. And I look for someone else that can be trusted. When it comes to delegation, trust must go with it. Because if you have capacity without integrity, you will kill the establishment. Yes. So we need integrity to sustain establishment. And that is why a lot of establishments, they prefer training their own people. Because most of these people that you bring in with too much capacity, they can be unstable many a times. And money becomes their focus. So establishment prefer training and building people. By training you, you understand my principles. You understand what the company stands for. And that is how you have the best. But where you just employ based on capacity without looking at that core area, you might have a problem employing and sacking always. We have tried it, and that is how it is. Nigeria now is very strong. Thank you.
Please put your hands together for him. I would like to move over to the CEO, Gaccs Universe. And my question to you is very direct. The question is, since you interface with a lot of young people, since you interface with a lot of aspiring CEOs or entrepreneurs, at what point does passion stop being enough? And at what point does the process become the true lifeline of a growing enterprise? At what point do you think the system I've set up is worthy enough for me to trust, not just my passion? At what point do you dissect both areas?
I was about to begin my speech by saying, praise the Lord. Thank you so much. I want to start by appreciating the organizer, the convener of this event, Engineer Nwodu. It's an honor. Okay, so as a young entrepreneur, most of the times we focus more on passion. We focus a lot on passion. Oh, this is what I like to do. This is what I feel comfortable doing. But the truth of the matter is that sometimes your passion is not enough to fund your life. It's not enough to pay the bills. So we need to set a clear line between what is your passion, your hobby, and what is your business. All right? So it's quite important for us to understand that in as much as you have a passion, sometimes if you want to make money, you need a business, which is quite different from your passion, because most times your passion can fund your bills. Now, as a young person starting up and building a company, one of the mistakes I made earlier on was starting up with the idea of a passion. This is what I want to do. I have some skills within this because majorly I'm into construction, Build Golden Construction Company. I'm actually well known for that than Googleplex. So, and when we start with passion, it gets to a stage whereby your passion is not just enough. Now you need more of excellence, you need competence, you need structures, you need systems. And as a young entrepreneur, starting from a base of passion, make it say I do something, I had no idea the importance and the relevance of systems in my business. And that made us, we lost a lot of funds. We made lots of mistakes and we learned from it. So it's quite important as a young person that you want to start a business, you consider systems, financial systems, all right, marketing systems, systems to help your procedures. All right, for your, for example, you need to have a standard operating procedure for your business. This way, it enables you to hand over the baton to somebody else, because systems, somebody say an acronym for system is saving yourself time, energy, and money. All right, these are things that could save you your time, your energy, and money. Most of the times, we start up as self-employed people. If you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to move from a self-employed person to a business owner. And as a business owner, what sets you apart is having system, because as a self-employed person, you're basically working for yourself.
Okay, can you break that down and explain both concepts? Being self-employed and being a business owner.
So I learned this some time ago from a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert T. Kiyosaki. And in that book, he clearly said that there are 4 types of ways which people make money. So we have the quadrant is divided into 4 parts. We have the right hand and we have the left hand. On the left-hand part, we have the employees. All right, we have the self-employed people, and then we have the business owners, and then we have the investors. Majority of us who goes into the national, the formal program of being of going to school actually prepares us to become an employee. All right, and 95% of the workforce globally are employees. All right. Now, being an employee, you work for somebody else. Usually you don't have time freedom. You don't have a lot of resources. Now you said, okay, you want to work for yourself. You want to be your own boss. And now you're a self-employed person. As a self-employed person, probably you, for example, you run, let me say, a shop, a boutique, a hairdressing salon, maybe a barber. The day you are called for a wedding invitation from your sister or cousin and you have to leave your shop, if you're making 10,000 naira every single day, the day you leave your shop, you lose 10,000 naira because there is nobody there to carry out that activity that you normally would have been carrying out. So that automatically makes you a self-employed person. But being a business owner, you have to have structures and systems in place to ensure that your business can move successfully and swiftly, even whilst you're not there. All right. And for you to enable to achieve that, to accomplish that, you need systems and structures. All right. So it's a full-blown course on its own. All right. One of the systems you need is, for example, tracking your finances. I myself, when I started out, I had no idea that my business money was different from my personal money.
Wow.
I had no idea.
You were just enjoying both of them.
Enjoying. Sometimes you get a contract of $1 million plus and the profit just goes into your own account.
Yes.
All right. So all of this was because you never had a system to track your finances and to delegate responsibilities. And one of the things you have to consider when trying to build a business is that you cannot build a business as an individual. You need people around you.
Yes.
And for millennials like us, we have a problem working with people because we all came up from a society whereby 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we took 5/5 in a class of 100 and you're coming back home and your dad and your mother is telling you that the person who took first position, how many hair does he have? So we are always in constant pull with ourselves. It's quite difficult to see co-founders in Nigeria. It's quite different. You know, I have this, this is my strength. I need your strength to complement my weakness. You have young people coming together to collaborate, but here it's quite different. Everybody won't become Oga. And nowadays, our young people are struggling to learn, to collaborate, most importantly, to seek mentorship. You know, before you go out to set up your own business, it's quite important that you learn from somebody. It's quite important that you serve somewhere, work in a company that is doing something similar that you have interest in doing, learn from them, understudy. This way, you're going to learn operation, you're going to learn delegation, you're going to learn strategy, you're going to learn different things. So one of the reasons why we struggle a lot, sometimes 3, 4, 5 years, we are at the same spot is because we lack mentorship. We lack people to look up to. We lack a blueprint of how what we are building is supposed to be done. So if you want to build structure, if you want to convert your passion into a business, one of the most important things you need to look at is to move out from the thinking of a self-employed person into a big business owner, into an entrepreneur, and that requires systems and structures. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for him. I would like the microphone to be given to Mr. Daniel Intia. You are a human resource expert. I know this question was off my script, and whilst Mr. Googleplex Universe was talking, he mentioned something about looking out for certain things, in terms of partnership. And I'm asking, or I'm thinking to myself, as a HR expert, I've always had issues with my HR people because they always think they know it better than every other person. I don't know if I'm speaking the minds of every other person here. What are the indices you look out for when you want to qualify someone who works efficiently in a company? Not just your personal indices. What are the standard indices you look out for when you see someone who is passionate, who is intentional about that company or that organization? And how do you incorporate them more into the system which we are building or we are trying to build? What are the things you look out for? So people here who are building their companies can look out for these characteristics and say, okay, this young man, he has so and so and so and so, and this is the benchmark.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. So when we think of HR, a lot of times we're quick to think of data, but we forget the human component. The human component is even more important than the data. Because you, first of all, it goes as far back as even when you're hiring the person. From the conversation you're having, which is the interview, you need to gather insight into this person's keen strengths. You've looked at the CV and all of those, but beyond the CV, when you say, okay, fine, tell me about yourself, the blah, the blah, the blah. As a HR person, you're supposed to find out exactly where does this person's strengths lie. Do they even know their strengths? Do they even know their weaknesses? And it could lie with their experience or their education and all of those. So when you've gone past that phase of hiring, you then get to see one key or core component of that is a value to business as far as HR is concerned, is an individual's capacity to collaborate. Know where their own personal strengths lie. I left HR in 2016 and went on to other things, and then today I'm in business. Now, one key thing that has helped is in understanding how much the people who work with me are able to work with each other, interact with each other. At the start of the company, for instance, I brought a lot of them by myself in to form the company. But I allowed them a lot of times. Not long after I formed the company, I was even very absent from it. So I just kept on instructing from far. But I found that they began to interact and they built in my absence. I was able to also allow them make their mistakes that were unique to their individual strengths or weaknesses.
Okay.
And by that, they were able to grow. I was not scared to throw them to the very deep end. I was not scared to reveal, there's this thing where they say, oh, don't reveal your trade secret to your people and all of that. Your trade secret is yourself. If that business or that venture fails, you will build it again. So long as you have it already within you. Your identity is very, very important. So understanding people's core strengths and weaknesses, understanding how well they are able to float at the deep end of collaboration. Some don't even know they have it in them to even collaborate. So they come with that individualistic mindset, like my brother said there, that competitive mindset and all of that. Let me do my own. Let me make sure that I'm ahead and all of that. But it's in all of us to collaborate because no cell can exist in isolation. So one key thing is that capacity to collaborate and then play to always have, once I have someone, an employee who is able to understand how best they can play to their strengths instead of bothering about how to deal with their weaknesses. For me, that is one hallmark of competence.
Okay, so whilst you do not have